On a humid Sunday evening in Atlanta, 3 police cruisers pulled up outside a crumbling apartment building, blue lights spinning. A heavy fist pounded on the door of Unit 4B, each thud echoing like a gunshot through the thin walls. Jennifer Miles cracked the door open, her thin gray cardigan hanging loose over a faded green t-shirt, and froze at the sight of uniforms.
Jennifer Miles, I am Dominic Grayson. We need to talk about Lucas.
Lucas? The quiet boy from the library. What could the police possibly want with him? What's happened to Lucas? Is he okay?
Lucas is safe, but we have a situation. May we come in?
Behind him, 2 officers shifted their weight, and the thick manila envelope in Dominic's hand seemed to burn.
She felt the floor tilt. Lucas. What could he possibly have done?
She clutched the doorframe, her knuckles whitening as the weight of the moment pressed down. 2 years earlier, Jennifer Miles was not opening her door to squad cars. She was mopping office floors before the city woke up.
If I finish this floor by 6, I can grab Marcus from school and still make my shift at the clinic.
She moved like someone being chased by a clock, every minute a coin she couldn't afford to drop. After her second job, she'd take Marcus to the public library, the only place that asked for nothing and gave them a world.
Mom, are you gonna eat tonight?
I ate at work, baby. This is all yours.
Later, with Marcus asleep, she stood in the dark kitchen, counting the coins between them and the next rent payment. The library was the one place she didn't have to count. In its quiet, they were rich in stories.
When I read to him, we aren't poor. We're explorers. We're heroes.
She didn't notice the quiet boy at the next table, already watching, already needing something only she could give. The following week, Jennifer saw him again. Same table, same heavy textbook, same tight jaw. He was around 14, with clothes that whispered money, but eyes that said broke.
That boy's been staring at the same page since Tuesday. He's not lazy, he's stuck.
She watched from the next aisle as he erased a problem so hard the paper nearly tore, then dropped his head into his hands.
If I were him, I'd want someone to ask. Not to judge, just to show me the next step.
Jennifer left Marcus with a picture book and crossed the open space between them.
You've been wrestling that equation for days. I am not a teacher, but I know algebra. Want me to take a look?
I can handle it.
But his voice cracked, and his fingers left a damp mark on the paper.
I used to tutor math. Let me see. You are close. Just rearrange this part.
He slid the book over. She traced the equation with a pen cap, murmuring steps. His shoulders dropped, and he finally looked at her, not through her. Within weeks, the library had become a twice-weekly ritual. Lucas always arrived first, his textbook already open to the next chapter, waiting.
You don't have to keep helping. I can figure it out on my own.
You say that every time, and every time you stay. Let's work on linear equations.
After one session, Lucas reached into his pocket and slid a folded $20 bill across the table, his eyes pleading.
Put that away. I am not doing this for money.
But you should. You are giving me your time, and my mom. She isn't around to help.
Jennifer's throat tightened. She imagined the head librarian, a kind face she'd seen shelving books, and assumed Lucas was her unseen son.
So that's it. He's just a kid missing his mother, stuck in a library all day.
She began photocopying SAT prep books with her own money, thin paper, thick with hope. She never told him what it cost her. Not for paper, but for the sleep she lost. At home, the bills stacked higher, the refrigerator emptier, but she carved out the library time anyway, because for those 2 hours, she wasn't a cleaner. She was building a life. The collapse happened on a Thursday. Marcus slid off the gymnasium floor, skin the color of old milk.
Stay with me, Marcus. I am right here. Mommy's not going anywhere.
The doctor's voice was steady as she explained the congenital defect, the looming deadline. Surgery within the month, or irreversible damage. The cost estimate landed on her lap like a brick. $47,000. She couldn't breathe.
I can't even pay for his lunch most weeks. Where am I supposed to find that?
At the library, she slumped over a table and let the tears come. Lucas appeared in the stacks, staring, fists clenched, his mouth a hard line. The midnight phone call felt unreal. A foundation rep said the entire bill, surgery, recovery, follow-ups would be covered.
I don't understand. Who's behind this? I never asked for help. Why would a stranger pay for my son?
The rep's voice was practiced, gentle. It's a charity that prefers anonymity. We support single mothers in crisis. That's all I can share. She hung up, the phone still warm against her ear, a mix of gratitude and deep, cold suspicion settling in her stomach. Months passed. Marcus healed, the color creeping back into his cheeks. The library sessions shifted from algebra to SAT vocabulary drills. One afternoon, Lucas set a small velvet box on the table, his fingers trembling.
What is this, Lucas?
A watch. A good one. You always check the clock like you are losing time. I wanted you to have more of it.
You need to return this. I told you, no gifts. This isn't a transaction.
Lucas pulled the box back, his jaw tight. He looked like he might argue. Then his shoulders dropped, and he said nothing. The next week, she found an envelope taped to her apartment door. Inside, a receipt with paid in full, and the words, anonymous donor.
First, the surgery. Now, the rent. Someone is watching us, making my life someone else's project.
She started double-checking locks, measuring the distance between strangers' glances. Lucas became quieter too. His words clipped, but the SAT was weeks away, and she refused to let the mystery upend the one thing in her control, Lucas's future. She pushed it down and kept tutoring. 2 years to the day since she first helped him. The library table waited for their final SAT prep. Lucas never showed.
He's never late. Not once in 2 years. Something is wrong.
She pulled out the worn scrap of paper with the emergency contact he'd given her, his aunt's number, and dialed. The line clicked once, then a recorded voice. The number you have dialed is not in service.
Excuse me. I am looking for Lucas. Does he have a different emergency number?
The librarian's face went blank. She said she didn't have a son, had never heard of a boy named Lucas matching his description, and turned away.
I don't even know his last name. I've been tutoring a ghost for 2 years.
She returned to the table and waited. Each minute stretched. Marcus fidgeted beside her, asking when Lucas would arrive. She had no answer. The library lights flickered a warning, closing time. She gathered her things, leaving the photocopied SAT sheets on the table, as if they might summon him. The chair across from her stayed empty. And in that hollow space, the weight of 2 years of secrets pressed down, cold and unblinking. 23 miles away, in a Buckhead mansion, Dominic Grayson stepped off a private jet and into a house that felt too still.
The safe door was ajar. Lucas knows better than to go in there.
He thumbed through the cash wraps. The emergency reserve, $40,000, was gone. Only a child's sweaty fingerprint smudged on the steel.
Lucas, downstairs now. What have you done?
I took it. All of it. For someone who deserves it more than you ever will.
Who could possibly justify stealing $40,000 from your own family? Explain yourself.
Lucas's voice cracked. He spoke of the library, of a woman with box braids who never asked for his last name, who photocopied SAT books with food money.
She tutored me for free. 2 years. She never took a dime, even when her son needed surgery. I wanted to give her what she'd never take.
Dominic's fury stalled. He studied his son, really studied him, and saw not a thief, but a child trying to repay an impossible debt.
A woman who turned down money, who gave for nothing. Why? And what else has Lucas been hiding?
Dominic spent the next 48 hours peeling back the layers of his son's secret life, starting with the family financial records.
2 shell foundations, a medical trust, all anonymous donations funneling money to a woman named Jennifer Miles.
He traced small transfers from accounts Lucas opened, the amounts matching her son's surgery and 3 months of rent.
The boy created a whole financial architecture just to help her without pride getting in the way. More Grayson than I realized.
The investigator's report confirmed. Jennifer Miles, single mother, 2 jobs, clean record. Lucas had paid for surgery and rent through anonymous charities. He picked up the phone and dialed the police chief, a man he'd donated campaign funds to for years, and asked for 3 squad cars.
I need an escort to a woman's apartment. She's innocent. I am returning stolen money and making an offer. I want no misunderstandings.
The chief hesitated, then agreed. By Sunday afternoon, the plan was set. Dominic Grayson and a manila envelope with 3 officers at his back.
She'll think it's a shakedown. I have to start with the truth before she slams the door.
Jennifer, across town, had no idea the boy she tutored was about to send a billionaire to her door with an envelope that would change everything. And now that knock had come. Jennifer stared through the crack at the man who claimed to be Lucas's father, the envelope like a held breath between them.
The officers are here because I asked them to be. I am returning something that was taken, and I didn't want any misunderstandings.
Returning something taken? What did Lucas take from this man?
My son stole $40,000 from my safe. He took it to give to you.
Stole? For me? I never asked him for a cent. I never took anything.
He funneled it through a fake charity. The surgery, the rent, I made sure they got paid, but it started with Lucas.
You paid for my son's surgery? You've been funding my life without my knowing? You watched me struggle and decided to play God with my finances. I am not a charity case.
I know. That's why I am here. Lucas said you were the only adult who ever asked how he was doing. This isn't about money. It's about him.
Her fury warred with the image of the quiet boy at the library table. She didn't let go of the doorframe, but her knuckles weren't white anymore. Dominic's voice dropped, no longer the CEO, but a father. He told her Lucas's mother died when the boy was 8, and he'd been raised by nannies in silence.
Lucas told me about the library the first month. He said, you didn't care about his clothes or his name. You just asked if he'd eaten.
He was hungry. I never knew. I thought he had everything.
I failed him in every way. Money can't fix. But you gave him something I couldn't. You saw him. He'd have withered without you.
He's just a kid. I did what anyone should do.
No. You did what almost no one does. You never gave up on him. Even when he missed your last session. It was because I'd grounded him. He cried for 3 hours.
Jennifer's throat closed. She remembered the empty chair, the silence. He hadn't abandoned her. He'd been trapped.
Is he okay? Where is Lucas now?
He's in the back of the patrol car, scared to face you. I wanted to bring him to you, but I need to know. Will you hear him out?
She nodded, a single dip of her chin, and pushed the door open wider. The hallway light spilled in. She still hadn't looked at the envelope. Dominic stepped aside and pointed toward the lead patrol car, its blue lights still pulsing against the brick apartment building. Through the patrol car's window, Lucas sat slumped in the back seat, his face buried in his hands, shoulders shaking.
He looks so small, so different from the boy who studied for hours. All he wanted was to give back.
He couldn't stand watching you skip meals while he had everything. The theft was desperate, but it came from a place I've never seen in him.
Let me talk to him, alone. Please.
Of course. But first, there's one more thing.
He raised the manila envelope until it was level with her eyes, the thick paper looking heavy with intent.
What could possibly be in there? Not a check, he said. So what?
It's not a check. It's an offer. Lucas helped me design it. I think you'll want to read it before you see him.
Her fingers closed around the heavy paper. She didn't open it, not yet, but the weight felt like a promise. Jennifer crossed the asphalt. The envelope pressed flat against her side and tapped softly on the patrol car's window.
I can't even look at you. You must hate me.
I don't hate you, Lucas. I was scared for you. Now, look at me, please.
He lifted his gaze, eyes red-rimmed and swollen. The confident boy from the library was gone. In his place was a child drowning in guilt.
You gave me 2 years. You never asked for anything. I wanted to give you a life. The way you gave me one.
You gave me something too. You reminded me that what I do matters. That's more than money.
She reached through the open window and took his hand, her thumb pressing into his palm the way she did when he solved a hard problem.
It's going to be okay. Not because of that envelope, because you are a good person who made a mistake, and I am not going anywhere.
Lucas's shoulders finally dropped, the sobs melting into shaky breaths. He nodded, unable to speak. She stepped back from the car, the manila envelope still unopened, and walked toward Dominic, who waited with his hands in his pockets, a question on his face. She stopped in front of him, the envelope damp from her palm. He searched her face for a clue.
You haven't opened it.
Is it a bribe, Mr. Grayson? Because I've already told you, I won't be bought.
It's not a bribe. It's a partnership. Lucas and I both want the same thing, for you to be part of his life, officially. But it has to be on your terms.
Part of his life? What does that even mean?
Read it when you are ready. I'll wait here, or I can leave, but please don't close the door on this.
She looked at the envelope again, then at this man who had funded her survival in secret. She didn't know whether to curse him or thank him.
Thank you. For Lucas. I'll read it, but I need to do this alone.
She stepped back into her apartment, the envelope clutched to her chest, and eased the door shut. The lock clicked softly. Dominic stood in the hallway, the weight of her decision still hanging in the air, as the police lights outside finally dimmed. Inside her apartment, Jennifer slid down the door until the floor caught her. The envelope sat in her lap, its weight no longer a mystery, but a test.
Partnership. He said partnership. What could a billionaire possibly partner with me on?
She tore the seal. Thick legal documents slid out, the first page stamped with a court seal, and the words, Shared Guardianship Agreement. She read the name twice. Lucas Grayson, not a librarian's son. A Grayson, the Grayson.
Shared guardianship. He wants me to be Lucas's legal guardian along with him. This is a family arrangement.
Beneath it, a second document, an employment contract for a mentorship coordinator position, salaried, with benefits. And a third page, a fully funded college trust in Marcus's name.
He's not buying me. He's making me an equal. He's giving Marcus a future.
A sound escaped her, a half laugh, half sob, torn from somewhere deep, the place where exhaustion meets impossible hope.
Lucas helped design this. His heart. It's so big, it broke itself trying to fix everything.
She pressed the papers to her chest, as if they were the heartbeat of the boy she taught for nothing, and she cried, not from fear, but from being seen. A door creaked down the hall. Marcus padded out, his face crumpled with worry, still in his pajamas.
Mom, why are you on the floor? Are those the police outside? What's happening?
I am better than okay. Come here, baby. Look at this paper. See your name.
Marcus Miles, college fund? That's for me? I can really go?
He traced the letters with a finger, as if they might vanish. She watched him, the impossible becoming real.
No more counting coins. No more telling him I ate when I didn't. We're going to be okay.
She pulled him into a hug so tight he squeaked, rocking back and forth on the cold floor. Then she stood, still clutching the papers, and opened the door. Dominic was right where she'd left him.
When do we start? And bring Lucas inside. He's not sitting in a police car another minute.
Dominic's shoulders dropped, the tension of 2 years and $40,000 finally releasing. He nodded, something breaking free behind his eyes. Dominic stepped into the hallway and motioned toward the patrol car. Lucas emerged hesitantly, his footsteps slow on the asphalt. He entered the cramped apartment, eyes fixed on the floor. Marcus stared from the hallway, confused but curious.
Come sit, Lucas. This is your table too now. I am not angry about the money. You wanted to help, and your heart is bigger than your judgment. That's something I understand.
You are not sending me away? I stole from my own father. I wanted you to stop suffering.
You don't send family away. Now look at these papers. You helped design this, right? So help me fill in the blanks.
Lucas looked at the guardianship papers, his signature already drafted in his father's handwriting, and a sob escaped him. This one born of relief.
We'll need to go to court for the guardianship, but we can start immediately. The mentorship position funds begin next week.
And then Lucas did something he hadn't done since his mother died. He smiled, a real one, watery but full. Jennifer slid a photocopied essay sheet across the table, just to the left of the legal documents, and for the first time, they all laughed. Weeks later, on a crisp Tuesday afternoon, Jennifer pushed open the library door with Marcus on one side and Lucas on the other.
No more watching from the next aisle. He's exactly where he belongs.
They sat at the old table by the window, the wood still scarred with faded pen marks from his first practice test.
Lucas, show Marcus that equation trick. The one you figured out 2 years ago.
It's not a trick. Watch, Marcus. You move the X here, and the whole thing falls into place.
The librarian looked up from her cart, her brow nodding. Wasn't that the boy who used to sit alone?
This room used to smell like exhaustion and fear. Now it smells like possibility.
She pulled out the old photocopied SAT sheets, creased but never thrown away, and slid them across the table like a trophy.
I remember every mark on this paper. You used the last of your money to copy it, didn't you?
She didn't answer, just smiled. And for the first time, the library felt like home.
That evening, Dominic knocked on the apartment door with a bottle of wine and a worn board game under his arm.
I haven't played Monopoly in years. Lucas said it's your favorite.
He remembered that. Get in here before the rice burns.
The table was set with mismatched plates and a stack of napkins Marcus had folded into crooked triangles.
I call the dog peace.
Jennifer ladled stew into bowls, the steam curling around her face. For the first time, the apartment didn't feel cramped, it felt full. After dinner, she opened the fridge for butter and paused. A crayon drawing had been pinned to the door with a supermarket magnet.
Lucas drew this years ago. A stick figure family. He must have put it here tonight.
She turned to say something, but Lucas was already watching her, his expression open and unafraid. She didn't need to say a word. The drawing said it all. 3 figures, a heart, and a home that was no longer missing anyone. One morning, Jennifer stood at the kitchen window, coffee steaming in her hand, and watched the sun climb over the spot where 3 squad cars had once idled.
The sirens are gone. The fear is gone. All that's left is the sound of Marcus and Lucas arguing over the last pancake.
She turned from the window. The kitchen table was covered in homework and half-empty syrup bottles.
Lucas, you can't put chocolate chips in pancakes without telling me.
They're your favorite. I was just trying to surprise you.
Jennifer smiled. The gesture so small it almost went unnoticed, but her eyes were full.
This is it. The thing I never dared to hope for. A noisy, messy, impossible family.
She poured more batter into the pan, the sizzle a quiet promise of morning after morning, just like this. And outside, the street was quiet. No police cruisers, no manila envelopes. Just a Tuesday, ordinary and endless. She pulled out the old envelope from a drawer, now holding their legal paperwork, and tucked it back where it belonged. In the past, that afternoon, Jennifer folded laundry on the couch, while Lucas and Marcus sprawled across the floor with a geometry textbook.
So if I add these angles, I get 180. Lucas, you explain it better than my teacher.
You just have to see the shape, not the numbers. It's like a puzzle. Here, let me show you.
Jennifer watched Lucas lean over, his pencil tracing lines with the same careful patience she'd once given him.
He's become what I gave him, and now he's giving it to my son.
She set down the laundry and walked over, placing a hand on each of their shoulders.
You two are going to run that college library one day. I just know it.
Lucas looked up, his expression open and free of the old shadows. He didn't speak, but his smile said everything. On the fridge, the crayon drawing of 3 stick figures caught a shaft of afternoon light. She touched the corner of the paper, smoothing it flat. Some promises didn't need envelopes. They just needed time. Late that night, the apartment settled into a hush. Jennifer stood in the kitchen doorway, a dish towel draped over her arm, watching the living room. Marcus was curled on the couch, a geometry worksheet crumpled in his hand, his breath slow and even.
This space used to echo with worry. Now it hums with breathing. I don't have to count coins, I can count heartbeats.
Lucas sat at the table, the guardianship papers fanned before him, his finger tracing the court seal.
You've read that a dozen times. It won't disappear.
I know. Seeing your name next to mine makes it real. It isn't charity, it's family.
She slid into the chair beside him, the old wood creaking the same way it had in the library. Through the window, the city lights flickered in the distance. The street below was empty. No cruisers, no sirens, only the ordinary calm of a Tuesday night. The crayon drawing on the fridge glowed in the kitchen light. 3 stick figures, a red heart, a home that had finally found its center. Jennifer didn't lock the door that night. She left it open a crack, not from fear, but because she no longer needed to shut the world out.